Ryan Newman will be joining us momentarily, but we're pleased to be joined by team owner Roger Penske and crew chief Roy McCauley. Congratulations on winning the 50th running of the Daytona 500. I'm going to ask you, Roger, your thoughts about this victory tonight.
Well, I can say that, I've been here probably almost 30 years trying to get in Victory Circle, and, to achieve this with this competition and with Ryan, the student really of the sport, and Roy and the whole team, just been unbelievable because, we've worked harder, we've come close, but I think it was a pure team effort. When you saw the end there, you saw the 18 lined up, with the 20, and you saw the 2 lined up with the 12, and I think that's what it took. And to me, Ryan drove a masterful race, as he's done many times, and come up short. But, today was special for us. And, as I said, Rick Hendrick is a guy that I always look up to. And he called me today, and because I had called him to say what a great job they'd done all week and what he'd done with Junior. And I said, look, if I get in that winner's circle, I want one of those H hats. So he brought one down to me. So maybe that was the good luck call I had today when I talked to him earlier. But, Ryan, you did a hell of a job for us, and thanks for the team and for all the people that support us. All our 40,000 employees are going to be high-fiving you for sure.
Let's hear from Roy right now before I go to Ryan. Roy, your thoughts? What did you see from up top pit box tonight?
Well, I tell you what, it was a race of durability when it comes to the tires and things like that. Ryan drove a masterful race as far as when he had the car, he could run in the first 5, and when he didn't have the car, he'd find a slot somewhere between 6th and 10th and mind his time until we could get it right. And I think that's the mark of being a smart driver and using your car when you can. I'll echo Roger's comments about a total team effort, and I think it's a big day for Penske Racing all together, because I worked with Pat Trison and Chris Carrier the whole day on the radio as to what would benefit the team as a whole. As far as pit strategy goes, obviously, once we could stop at lap 160 and make it on fuel, it was just going to be a matter of if another caution come out, where you're going to put tires on. And we had some. I'm not going to kid you. We had some second thoughts here and there, but I felt the track position was better overall, trying to stay out of the accidents, which normally come at the end of a plate race, and they usually come in droves the last 20 laps. And thankfully, history repeated itself on that one. But like I said, Ryan drove a great race because the car was a handful at the end, and we, thanks to our teammates and the team as a whole, we were able to pull one off.
Ryan Newman, driver of the number 12, All-Tail Dodge. How's it feel to win the 50th running of the Daytona 500?
Don't have the words. It's awesome. I mean, it's probably the most awesome thing that's ever happened to me. And all to understand all the history of NASCAR, of racing in general, and at the drivers' meeting to be looking face to face with all the guys, the greats that were on stage up there, and now to be part of one of those guys and part of that team is just awesome. I've always said Indianapolis was great to be able to walk in the garage area and know that you're touching the same footprints as other guys that we're such great drivers for the last 100 years there, and just to be part of the 50th running of the Daytona 500. 15 years ago, I was sitting in the grandstands in the Seagrave Tower, and it's awesome to make the changes. Got to thank Roger Penske, Don Miller, everybody at Penske Racing, and Roy McCauley, obviously, but obviously Kurt Busch, without a doubt. He could have easily gone 3 wide and split us through the center and made one heck of a mess there going into 3, but he chose to be a teammate, and that's the most honorable thing that he could do, and I would have done the same thing to him. So just thank him a bunch. Thank our Penske Jasper engine group for the great horsepower. I felt at times we had a really good car. I felt at times we were struggling, and to come out on top, as Roy said, with maybe not the best tires or the best situation, but to have the track position was a great effort.
Okay, we'll take questions now for our championship team. We'll try to release Roy as soon as we can, but we'll take questions. We'll start back in the back. State your name, affiliation.
Jim Peltz of the LA Times. Ryan, can you walk us through the last lap? What were you thinking was going to happen, and how'd it go?
Well, you honestly don't know. I mean, I would say for sure that the leader was a sitting duck on every restart, and I didn't think that the 31 had the greatest car all day. And we were fortunate that when they split apart, that I got the chance to push Tony. and that made a difference because that lane moved. It gave Kurt the opportunity to run the high line, which Kurt wanted to do, and the moons just aligned. And when I pushed Tony through 1 and 2, or through part of 1 and 2, I was just hoping he was going to hang on to it because I was pushing on him as hard as I could, and we broke free. And then Kurt came up behind me off of 2, and just gave me the push from heaven, and it was awesome. And listening to my dad on the radio, spotting for me, and all the other things, all the other emotions. It was just, all the hard work, people that gave me a shot racing quarter midgets and sprint cars and Silver Crown cars. I have to thank everybody, including the fans.
Go right here. Go ahead.
For Roger Penske, George Vesey with the New York Times. Every sport has coaches or players who don't win the Derby or the Series or this or that. How important was it for you to finally win a Daytona? And if you hadn't, if you didn't win, what would that mean to your career?
I would have come back next year and try again, but it was special for me. Obviously, we've tried for many years. We've had great drivers. We've been very close many years, but again, we never executed at the end. And I think that this, was a team effort. And as Ryan said, he drove a masterful race. But I thank Kurt too because he could have, as Ryan said, got in the middle of it, and he pushed us, to victory. And to me, that's important, and it could be the other way next year or at the next race. So awful important that we can say we have a big team, as you know, very important.
Go ahead.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Roger, can you compare this to winning an Indy 500? And also, I understand Mr. Nardelli offered $1 million bonus to any Dodge team that could pull off the win. What are you guys going to do with the money?
Well, we're going to spend it to make the cars go faster. I'm sure that'll be the first thing we'll do. But it was great that, Bob Nardelli and I go back when I was on the Home Depot board, and to see him at the CEO of Chrysler, he's really, put some time and effort and give us people to make this a much better program. But comparing it to the Indy 500, as Ryan knows, we've been open meal guys, and coming down here, it's been tough. And this has got to go to the top of the charts here, to see us this win. And what I'm going to try to do this year, have them back-to-back, do one in May, too. So that's my real challenge right now.
I'm going to ask if anyone has a question for Roy. We're going to take those first so he can get to tear down, but we'll get to everybody's question. But let's take Roy's first, if you don't mind. Go ahead.
Tom Jensen from SpeedTV.com. Roy, obviously you had one of the toughest years of your life last year with your wife being sick and having to step away from the team a little bit. Can you just talk from an emotional standpoint to go from the lows of last year to the highs of this year and what this all means to you?
Well, I'll echo Ryan's words. I don't think I have the words for what the last year has been. Exactly a year ago today, actually, when, not to elaborate, but my wife was diagnosed with cancer. And, I thank Roger Penske for giving me the opportunity to take care of what comes first, which is family. And without Roger, I would not have been able to do that. And that just says a lot about the team as a whole again. But to come from those extraordinary lows and go through a lot of successful medical procedures in her case to get her on the road to recovery. And, when we sat down and talked at the end of last fall and they asked me if I would be willing to take over the 12 car, we had to have a serious talk and say, okay, we're going to beat this, and we are beating it, and we're not going to let cancer dictate the rest of our lives. So we decided that we need to go for it and take over the job and run the 12 and try and put Ryan in victory lane and Penske Racing in victory lane as often as we could. And, I give my wife a lot of credit for, she's kind of my rock with wings, if you want to call it that. And, it means a lot to me to come back and stand in victory lane with Ryan, because the last time I was a crew chief, we stood in victory lane again. And, it's just an emotional roller coaster, and it's nice to be on the top of it right now.
Thank you, Roy. We'll release you to the garage. Thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Thank you.